All right, so question number 1. Why do you want to serve as a Walton County Commissioner, and what are your top 3 to 5 goals? So on a personal level, the number one reason that I'm running is because I am extremely proud of being born in Walton County, and it would truly be an honor to serve my fellow citizens. I'm also running because I know I can bring a younger, fresher approach to local government. I know I can always work well with the other commissioners who would sit beside me. I have a deep understanding of what the main function of the BCC is, and I'm at a very good stage of my life and my career to dedicate the amount of time that's needed to do this job correctly. Now, some of my goals are as follows. For one, I want to always be willing to work with all the commissioners who are sitting beside me to get things done and to never bring personal or political issues into decisions that affect the lives of so many of our citizens. Number 2, I want to make myself extremely accessible to any citizen who wishes to speak with me. 3, I want to spend less time talking and more time listening. 4, I want to forget about past mistakes that were made by my predecessors and only focus on what I can do today to ensure a better future for all of Walton County. And 5, and most importantly, I want to never let my decisions be influenced by special interest groups that do not have the citizens' best interest in mind. All right, question number 2. What relationships do you have with developers, lawyers, builders, or real estate agents that are actively engaged in planning, developing, and marketing residential or commercial property in Walton County? Okay, so I was born on 30A, and I started my career in the marketing field working for real estate and vacation rental companies. At the current time, I do not have any professional relationships with any of those mentioned parties. And more importantly, I'm not accepting any money from parties like that in the form of campaign contributions. Okay? Now, I'm not against development. However, having lived here my whole life, I'm fully aware of how parties like that were mentioned have the ability to present a huge conflict of interest if they are too involved in local political campaigns. And for that reason, I'm very proud to be the only candidate in this race at the current time that has not accepted campaign contributions from those types of parties that were just mentioned. All right, question number 3. Do you have any close friends or relatives engaged with county government, either as employees or contractors? So as a former county employee, I am very proud to consider every single one of them, every single county staff member, my friend. I think we have the best staff of any county in the state of Florida, and truthfully, I could not be more proud to have just to be given this opportunity to work more closely with them to take care of the needs of the citizens of Walton County. As for the second part of the question, I do not have any relatives working or contracting for Walton County. All right, question number 4. Do you have professional skills or experiences that you feel would benefit you in serving on the BCC? Please elaborate. So I have a very extensive knowledge of the marketing and technology fields. Now I plan to use my knowledge and my interest in technology to modernize our county operations, to help the county run more smoothly and to provide better customer service and things like that. I'll also use my mass communication and marketing skills to keep my constituents informed on everything that is going on, and to also get their opinions on current issues that would better help me to make decisions. All right, question number 5. Please describe any involvement with county government in the past 5 years where you advocated for actions to improve the quality of life for your fellow citizens. So the main thing I want to mention on this is I was a very big supporter of customary use, and I still am to this day. and I was very publicly active in the fight to keep customary use. Question number 6. What is your position on the proposed sales tax increase for infrastructure improvements? So I support any initiative to improve our infrastructure. And at the current time, because it's a referendum, it is up to the voters to decide on that. And I will support any decision that the voters choose. All right, question number 7. People complain often and loudly about overdevelopment in South Walton. Do you think this is a valid concern, and what do you think can be done about it? So in any democracy, people will always complain about every issue, regardless of what side they are on. I think one could argue that some places in South Walton have been, quote, overdeveloped. However, one could also argue that private property owners have the right to develop property that they own as long as they are following the law and the Land Development Code. Personally, I don't think the local government should be making subjective and opinion-based decisions on whether or not a development is the right fit or not. As a conservative Republican, I'm not in favor of big government regulations, especially when it comes to private property rights. Now, the so-called overdevelopment problem could be solved much quicker, in my opinion, with education. If you look at South Walton is most famous for its master plan communities like Seaside, Watercolor, Rosemary Beach, Alice Beach, etc. These communities are known and respected worldwide for their sustainable development practices and lifestyle. Now, these communities are where everyone wants to be when they are on vacation down here, and they're also they have the highest property values. So my suggestion is we should make more of an attempt to promote sustainable development to our developers and show them and market to them that there's much more value in creating developments the way that those communities that I just mentioned have, rather than just building as many units as possible. All right, question number 8. What do you think about the idea of paid parking on all South Walton property, including all right-of-ways, as a way to control utilization of scarce resources? I think we desperately need to solve our parking issue in South Walton. In my opinion, paid parking solves many of the problems. It makes enforcement much easier and provides a revenue stream in the form of, or it provides a revenue stream that we could potentially use to buy more parking lots or parking garages, etc. All right, question number 9. What are your thoughts on the recently proposed changes to short-term rental controls in the Land Development Code? Do you think those changes go far enough? Personally, I'm happy with the changes. I think it's a good start. Once again, I'm not a believer in too much government regulation and interference with private industry. Short-term rentals are the backbone of our economy. Obviously, we need to always be keeping an eye on that. However, I think the changes are good for now. Question number 10. Do you think it would be appropriate to use TDC funds to pay for infrastructure improvements where the cause of inadequacies are caused by swarms of visitors? I would love for that to be an option. And I would strongly be in favor of being able to use TDC funds or bed tax to fix infrastructure and things like that. Now, as we all know, at the current time, we are not allowed to do that. The state legislature limits how you can spend bed tax. Not a lot of people know that. Now, the option for that is I personally would love to work with our state representatives to try and change the law, basically, to make that a possibility to where we could use bed tax for infrastructure. So I definitely support that idea, but I do want to put on record that at the current time, we do not have the ability to do that, because that is a state regulated issue. All right, question number 11. Many Walton County citizens have repeatedly asked for public recreational facilities, particularly an Olympic-sized swimming pool that can be used by schools, swim teams, and recreational users. What are your thoughts on this? The answer is yes. I'm a very big supporter of this idea. Thank you to the South Walton Community Council for asking this question. I think that would really be a great idea. It'd be great for our school swim teams. I think it'd be great for training our lifeguards. And more importantly, and most importantly, I think it would be really a great thing for our senior citizen community. I think that's very, we haven't been paying enough attention to our seniors in the entire, in all of Walton County. And that this would be a very good step in the right direction. All right, question number 12. What do you think should be done about 30A to improve the flow of vehicles, bicycles, pedestrians, and golf carts? And how would you improve the aesthetics of scenic 30A? Ultimately, I would like to see fewer cars and commuter traffic on 30A without affecting our tourism economy. I'd also like to give visitors more options to not need a car while visiting here. One idea that I will champion is the implementation of a public transportation system on 30A. I've seen this work in many other vacation areas and cities, and I know it can work here also. Also, I believe we need to make it easier and faster for the commuter traffic to get off of 30A to Highway 98. I think that will solve a lot of the problems. All right, question number 13. Do you have any fresh perspectives on how to deal with the customary use issue? And what do you think about recent action plans to plan and finance beach renourishment? So I've supported customary use from the very beginning, and I will always support it. And I fully support any effort for beach renourishment. Question number 14. Affordable housing is a challenge in Walton County, and particularly in South Walton. Recent development applications propose affordable housing at the moderate level, which many believe translates to higher rents and sales prices that most of the people we are trying to help can't afford. What is my opinion? Well, I definitely think we most definitely have an affordable housing problem in Walton County, and I'm very pleased that our developers have all of a sudden taken a keen interest in helping out the little guy. However, I want to make sure we do this correctly. I want to look into this a little more, because let's face it, there is no point in having an affordable housing program that results in housing that's not affordable to the average working class family in Walton County. Question 15. Do you think the current comp plan and land development code are adequate? What would you like to see changed? Personally, I think we're always going to need to be looking at the comp plan and always be looking at the land development code. And I think it's always going to be changing with time. At the current time, I don't have anything specific that I want changed, but during my tenure, I'm sure changes will be made in some way, shape, or form. Question number 16. Do you think the Zoning Board of Adjustments is doing a good job? Do you have any suggestions for improvement? Yes, I think the Zoning Board of Adjustments and its chairman do a very good job.